Hello everybody, welcome to Wisconsin Wonder Garden. I'm really excited for this episode as my wife got me something rather special. This is a native bee barn. I am so excited to start making a couple of videos about this thing and about native bees and showing you guys the whole process of keeping native bees in your gardens. Now, we're all well aware that bees are in trouble and they need all the help we can get. A lot of people don't know the difference between honeybees and native bees, or most commonly referred to as mason bees. Just in Wisconsin alone, my state, there's about 4,000 different species of bees. And today we're going to be talking about what we're attracting with this thing, this bee barn, and that's going to be mostly mason bees. And then I'm going to open this up and kind of show you guys, illustrate how mason bees live inside of it, all that good stuff. So my wife bought me this. I don't even know what brand it is. If you guys were to look it up, Evergreen Enterprises. And again, this is for mason bees. Mason bees are extremely efficient at pollinating. So your typical honeybee is going to be has a pollination rate of about 5%, while mason bees are actually about 95%. So much better pollinators. You don't need nearly as many of them around to pollinate an entire orchard of fruit trees, if that's what you guys have. Or if you've got a small garden like me, they will definitely help get the job done around the garden. And having a home like this for them nearby is really going to help out in pollinating your garden and make your garden look as good as possible, and make sure that your vegetables are producing as much fruit as possible, because all of those flowers that you have are going to be pollinated. I'm going to open this up and then we'll talk about what these holes are and how the mason bee lives inside of them, and a little bit about the life cycle of a mason bee as well. So in this native bee barn, there's actually a couple of separate different areas. We have a nesting location right here. These are removable trays too for where the cocoons are going to be, and I'm going to talk about that in a future video. I'll show you guys how to clean these out, how to take care of the cocoons during the winter, all that good stuff. And then up here is a butterfly nesting area. So not really sure how that attracts butterflies or how they know to go in there to have shelter, but that's what it's for. And then in the back, it's got a little slot there so you can clean it all out. And this tray right here, this whole section right here, is removable. So basically, the mason bees are going to start to emerge when it's about 55 degrees outside. Throughout the mason bee's life cycle, it's not going to be producing honey like honeybees do. These mason bees are actually consuming all this pollen, and they're foraging constantly 24/7. Now, they're solitary bees too, so they don't need a hive, they don't need a colony. Every female is essentially a queen bee. And what happens is during their life cycle, they will lay eggs in these holes here. And once they lay an egg, they're then going to get a layer of mud. And basically, if you imagine this being a tube, they'll lay an egg and then they'll put a wall of mud. Then they'll lay another egg and put a wall of mud. And another egg and put a wall of mud. Each bee, queen bee, will lay about 15 to 20 eggs during her life cycle in the summer. And then she'll die. Before the winter comes, the eggs will be kept over winter, and then they emerge during the spring. So if you guys can't tell, this is the first time that I've really been exposed to any sort of beekeeping and stuff. I'm super excited to do this because it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and God bless my wife for getting this for me, because I'm extremely excited about it. And I hope that through watching some of these videos on my channel that you guys find some interest in it too. Go ahead and do some research on mason bees. I find them to be absolutely fascinating. And I'm really excited to not only document the bees that are living in this, but show you guys what to do with the cocoons and the eggs and the overall bee barn to make sure that the bees are in a healthy state and pollinating as many flowers around the garden as possible. You know, they need all of the help we can get. So if we could all just go out and get something like this, it doesn't even have to be of this size. You can go ahead and make your own too. If you just take big logs and drill holes about a 3/8 of an inch in diameter, and just drill a bunch of holes in there, and the mason bees will do their thing. So just providing as much habitat as we can for them to nest in and to raise their young, I think is all the better. So we can all do our own part. They definitely need it. I'm super, super excited for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned, as we're going to have a bunch of videos coming up on the bees that are living in this thing and etc. Everything I just talked about. We're going to have a lot of videos on it. I'm just kind of dumbfounded because of how excited I am for this, and definitely have a lot to learn about it. So that'll be an interesting process too. We're gonna hang this up in the yard a little bit later this year. So I'll make a video of that right off the bat on where we're hanging it, and just give you a little look of that. I'm not gonna ramble on any longer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your gardens are growing great so far. You've got your seedlings started inside. You've got some of your root crops planted outside if it's the right time for planting. There's a ton of stuff to do in the spring, so make sure you guys are planning and preparing for this year's gardens. We'll catch you in the next video.